Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today's vlog is so much more than just my haircut, so you don't want to miss this vlog for sure. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so, and if you have, thank you so much. First and foremost, I just want to say I'm so sorry I haven't been vlogging regularly. I've done a few shorts here and there, but not a complete vlog. We do have a big wedding in our family, and my son just had his graduation. Unfortunately, I'm not filming those events because I don't know who's comfortable with being in front of the camera. So I promise you guys, as soon as all these events are over, I will start vlogging regularly again. I have really big news coming up for you guys in July, so definitely stay tuned for that. Today's vlog isn't just about my haircut, it's something so much bigger than that. There's more important things to discuss than just my haircut. Mary has given me her full permission to share her health story with all of you, and we're not trying to give you any medical advice or anything like that. I just want to share this remarkable woman's story with all of you. Of course, I'm back at Mary, and look at this. She looks beautiful as ever. I have not seen her for over a year.
I can't believe it has been that long. Where have you been hiding?
I know, but I'm so happy. I will tell you guys her whole story and everything. I will voice over this, but I'll let her say a little bit about it.
So I've been going through a breast cancer journey since June of last year. I found a lump in May, and then I went through a biopsy and a CT scan and they did a mammogram, they do an MRI, they do an abdomen scan. They want to see if it has spread to anywhere else in your body. They did a biopsy of the breast, they did a biopsy of the lymph nodes. Unfortunately, there was cancer in the lymph nodes as well, so I was diagnosed with stage 3A and a grade 3 tumor. I went through a double mastectomy, I went through 16 rounds of chemo, I went through 28 days of radiation, and next step is endocrine therapy. I have not started that yet, but breast cancer is a huge process, and I was completely unaware of how long it would take. This process started a year ago, almost a year ago. June 27th would be when I found out for sure it was cancer. But
And you had just started this at that time.
I started this business in April. I look at it as I'm fortunate because I was able to make my schedule very flexible. I was able to work around all the doctor's appointments and everything else to still be here at work. So I don't want to give up on my dream, and so I made it happen.
Guys, she's a fighter and a survivor. Look at this. Everybody come out here, especially come and say hello to her, give her encouragement. I love you. You know I love you.
You are always so sweet. I always love to see you here. So
thank you.
It'll be fun.
Again, please do keep this in mind that we're not trying to give any medical advice here. I just wanted to share the story of this remarkable and courageous woman and her journey on how she dealt with breast cancer. When I first asked Mary if I could share her story with all of you, her response was immediately, absolutely. Throughout this vlog, you will hear our conversations in between that we were having while she was giving me a haircut. Like I told you guys, this is so much more than just a haircut. I really want to share her story with all of you guys. It has opened up my eyes as well. There were so many years that I have just been avoiding getting a mammogram. I have been putting it off. But after speaking to her, it has made a huge impact on me as well to go make that appointment and go get a mammogram as well. Breast cancer does run in my family as well. My father's sister, my aunt, did pass away from breast cancer. So I don't know why I have been putting off getting a mammogram, but I have been lazy about it and haven't made that appointment. But definitely after speaking to Mary, that's the first thing I will go ahead and do. She did detect her own lump, and this was about a year ago when she had just opened up the salon. She did go to the doctor, and the first thing they told her that maybe it's just a cyst, but you do know your body. And she was very persistent, and she said, no, I do want to go for a mammogram and I want to get everything checked out.
Actually, the 18th through the 23rd, I'm going on a cancer survivors rock climbing trip in New York this month. Yeah, so it's coming up soon, so that should be really cool. It's sponsored by, the program is called First Descents. It's for anybody who's had cancer. It's a non-profit. Even my son, you asked like, how are my kids dealing with it all? Even my son, when I said like, oh, he goes, are you gonna die?
Oh
I was
my
not prepared for the anesthesia.
God.
I was like, well,
Oh my God.
everybody's gonna die at some point, right? I was
Oh my
like,
God.
everyone's gonna die. This isn't what's gonna kill me anytime soon. We had this conversation before I knew like what brain anesthesia it was, so I didn't know it was so advanced. I thought like, okay, we're gonna do surgery and it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do the surgery and it'll be okay. So I just, made as little of it as possible. I took my dad's recliner, which was my mom's, which was a gift to her. It was a power recliner, so that I could like get up and down, because they're like, use your arms as little as possible for the first 2 weeks. Don't lift your arms above your head. I shaved off my hair before I started chemo because I was not letting cancer take my hair from me.
Yeah.
My hair is important to me. Cancer
Oh
doesn't
my
get to take it.
God.
I took it from myself.
That for a person to go through all of that, and then all the paperwork aspect and all that, you're already going through so much, and you have little kids. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So,
I'm so
but I was
glad
like, I'm
you're
not gonna
doing
let it
better.
stress me out. I'm not gonna let it worry me. There was some dark humor involved at some points. I sent my friends some memes and
You're allowed.
whatever.
You are
I'm like, I have it.
allowed.
I'm allowed to make jokes about it now. So one of them, it was like, I'm so good. This is before I knew the stage that I had, but I had sent her the meme and it said, I'm so good at cancer, I'm already on level 3. And then when I found out the stage, I was like, well, turns out that was accurate.
Oh my God.
I was like, you gotta laugh because otherwise you're gonna cry.
And it's a lot. It's
I
a
don't
lot
want to cry.
emotionally,
I
yeah.
don't want to, like, I've cried, but I don't want to. I don't want to stay there. Right? February, before I knew all this, and I said, you know what I need? Okay, so after the surgery, was chemo, and chemo was first, it was every other week for 4 weeks, and that one was like the worst drug, made you feel like crappier. And then the other one was for 12 weeks, but that one was weekly. So you would go every single week. You didn't get like a week recovery break in between. That one did not make me feel as bad, so that was not as terrible. Some people have a lot of problems with that one. I did not. Like, I felt chemo was not fun by any means,
But yeah, of
but I
course,
did
of
feel
course.
like lucky with the side effects that I had. I did feel like I got through it better than other people, and so yeah. But once it switched from every other week to every week,
That's a lot.
and so in between those, I was like, I need something to like get me through these next 12 weeks. I went out to see my friend in Arizona just for 3 days, and I was like, you know what? Let me come out and we're gonna do something off my bucket list. We're gonna go on a hot air balloon ride. You wanna do it?
Aw.
And she did. She did go with me. Yeah, it was really great. So there was that. So that was like, okay, you have something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Something is
exactly.
coming up. Something is gonna happen next.
And you're not just
And
thinking
it's
about
not
the
just
situation.
Doctor appointment.
Yes.
Doctor appointment. Doctor appointment. Reward yourself for
Yes.
getting through something. So after I finished chemo was that. And then now that I finished radiation, I'm going on this cancer survivors rock climbing trip. So.
You have such a positive attitude, because so
Yes.
many people would be like, oh my God, like, pity me, but you don't have that attitude whatsoever.
Yep. I actually said the opposite of that. When I was first diagnosed, of course, everyone's first response is, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I said, please don't say that to me, because you didn't do this. I'm like, if you are responsible for this, then go ahead and say sorry. But I said, otherwise, it's not your fault. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I want you to tell me, like, you were doing awesome. You're like, oh, you're so strong. You're doing it. That makes me feel good. That
Yeah.
builds me up. If you say, I'm so sorry. It's like, oh, feel bad for me. Feel bad for me. Like, no. I'm like, when people would say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm like, please don't say that. Like,
Yeah.
so hopefully, like, someone can learn from my experience, right? So,
But that's having such a positive attitude, honestly.
yeah. One lady that I saw sitting in the lobby, and we were both waiting our turns to see the doctor, and it was in October, and it was like before I was going to start my chemo and everything else, and you're uneasy, whatever. And she had like on a breast cancer awareness shirt and everything else. I was like, clearly she's also here for breast cancer specifically, not just some cancer.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I just talk to you? And she's like, no, absolutely, because I was like, so spread awareness. And I'm like, you have any advice, like how to get through all this and everything else? And she's like, the best advice I can tell you is don't let it make you a victim. She's like, you are a warrior, you are a fighter, you are a survivor. She's like, do not be a victim. She's like, do not let yourself, and I already was kind of that way, but I was like, that's good. I was like, good, it works. My strategy works. She's like, do not let yourself become a victim. Don't let it make you a victim. You're a warrior, you're a survivor, you're a fighter. She goes, you can be sad, you can have, like, of course, experience all the emotions. Don't bottle it up, because that's even worse. But she's like, the worst thing you can do is just be a victim. Because you're gonna sit, you're gonna sulk, you're gonna feel bad for yourself, and that's where you're gonna stay. Just like, don't let yourself stay there.
That's, my God, that is good advice, but you're like that.
Yeah,
That is so
right.
true.
I was like, good. I was like, I talked to the right lady today, you know?
It just reassures you that
Yes.
any doubts that you have in your mind when you hear it from somebody else.
Yes. Yep. What you're gonna do in your life is wait for bad things to happen to you. No, thank you. What kind of life is that?
Yeah.
Bad things will happen, and I will deal with them accordingly. That's it.
But that's the attitude to have.
Yep. So.
I
had
don't
my
think I
moments,
could be that
you know,
strong,
I had my
honestly.
little cries. I had my little I feel sorry for myself. I had my little why me's, of course. But then you get away from that, because that's not a way to like live. It's not a way to feel good about life.
And I'm sure that can drain you drastically throughout
Absolutely.
all this.
Yep.
Because you need so much energy to deal with this.
Yes. I don't think it's so much like, I think it's even more of a physical fight than it is a mental, or I'm sorry, a mental fight than it is a physical fight.
Physically, yeah.
Yep.
Because it takes a toll on you.
Yes. Yep.
She is truly such a remarkable and a courageous woman. Looking at her, you would never guess what she has been through. She continues to have a smile on her face. She continues to have this positive attitude. Her energy has been the same. After I've met her after such a long time, her energy was exactly the same. I am so grateful to Mary for letting me share her story with all of you. I hope it has inspired all of you. She told me if I have any questions on anything, I can feel free to reach out to her. I just had to share the story of this remarkable woman with all of you. Mary, thank you so much for letting me share your story. I truly appreciate it, and I hope it encourages all of the women out there who are battling breast cancer. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for letting me share the story. I say these words every time I end my vlog, but today they have come in a different light for me. So remember, always believe in yourself, love yourself, and take care of yourself. Until next time, with this remarkable woman who I absolutely love from the bottom of my heart, who I have the best wishes for and the highest regard for. I love you, Mary. Thank you once again for letting me share your story. Until next time, bye, guys.